You're right, guys. It's David Clayton of KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 3 of Season 2 today at the Australian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist will be there along with all the other episodes. For now, we are a couple of weeks off for the Australian Grand Prix. We've got a few things going on, such as a new regulation vote, actually, for next season. So at the moment, we've got a few emails. Post-race for Pierre Gasly could do with a bit more engine cooling and defending for Gasly. A difficult race, yeah, but for the last race, spoiler alert, Pierre Gasly ended up crashing out early on in the race, unfortunately. So Sebastian was left to carry the flag. He did well, all things considered, but he didn't have the same pace that Pierre has had in the first couple of races. So, at the moment, we have low confidence with the board still, but we are currently in a good position. At the moment, everyone else has been upgrading, so we're 9th on low speed and 15th on medium and high. So, as soon as the research period opens, we need to start doing a bit more to the car again, as well as drag reduction, because we're still pretty low down on that as well. So for now, we're going to skip through. Yes, the other thing I need to do is need to go to the warehouse as well, because I do remember, Pierre Gasly ended up damaging the car with his crash. I almost forgot about that, so we're going to do that and get this sorted immediately. No messing around. So, front wing. We can manufacture one of them. That will be there. Side pods, still okay on them. Rear wings, still okay on them. Underfloor, fine. And one suspension component. That'll be here in time, so at least that's all covered. We're still actually also need to have a look at, so still okay for the engine, so there was no damage done there. All the ERS and all the gearbox took a bit of a whack on Gasly's car, so we'll have to put him straight onto his second gearbox, unfortunately. That's not ideal, but the crash he had was a pretty hefty one the last race. So there we go. The wind tunnel refurbishment has been completed. So that's all sorted. So now front wing manufacturing is done. Right, boardroom poor condition. Let's just get that sorted and done and dusted. So now we have got something that requires an urgent response, which is the regulation vote. So, as you know, we may change the regulations that define Formula One rules between seasons to make the sport fairer for competitors and more engaging for fans. With these goals in mind, we are proposing minor new regulations for 2024 season. These proposed regulation changes will impact areas of the car aerodynamics with a focus on reducing overall downforce generated and maximum cornering speed. Please review the proposed changes before voting. Minor regulations will reduce teams' design expertise regarding the affected car parts areas. This will impact all teams regardless of their car strength or weaknesses, so please vote with consideration of fairness to the future of Formula One as a whole. Well, we are weaker on the high downforce area as opposed to the low speed downforce, so we're going to vote for the high speed downforce for our for the regulation change. So now Got several of the manufacturing parts being done. And that's pretty much everything. So we're going to go to the race prep. We're going to go reach Q2. That's the that's pretty much the goal we're getting. We're on a 2 qualifying hot streak at the moment. Finishing position, finish 14th or above. Yeah, and so that's pretty much what we've got now. So we're going to go through into the first practice session and see what we can do. Okay, into the practice hub for the this next race. For the moment, I am going to leave Gasly in again, as pertain to the car parts knowledge for the moment. So we're going to leave him in for this race. I'm going to start bringing in Doing a little bit later on to get his experience up. So we're going to simulate the first session as per normal. See where the guys stand. So Gasly is P8 and Sebastian Vettel's way down here. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at the moment. We are slowly falling backwards. We were 11th on like high speed and medium speed downforce. Now we dropped to 15th. So we are falling backwards a little bit, but we're halfway there on the setup confidence for both guys. So that's a good start. So let's see Sebastian first. He is way off on his straights, so we're going to have to sort that out. So give me a minute to work this out. Okay, we've got it to about here for Sebastian. The main thing was his cornering and straights needed a bit of a check, so that should be more in line with the Albert Park circuit being a straight circuit. So we will give that a run for Sebastian. Put him on the hard tyres. And the usual run plan for 22 laps. So that's Sebastian sorted. Now, as for Gasly, yeah, that's completely it. His traction is optimal though, so I want to try and keep that where it is. And his front is oversteer is great, but I need to check his cornering and straights and braking stability. So give me a second with this one, and we'll see where we can go. Okay, this is bit of the middle ground here. I've managed to keep his traction and oversteer exactly where it was, so this should give a better indication for where Gasly is going to be. So we'll do the same, hard tyres, 22 laps, and we'll cut through to the end of second practice, if nothing happens, that is, and we'll see how the guys are faring after these runs. Okay, that's the end of the practice. Not a lot to talk about. Everyone behaved fairly well, apart from a few spinners, but there was nothing really to talk about. Gasly, already up to 86 on his setup confidence, so that's not too bad. It's Sebastian that we need to focus on a little bit more. He's at 67, so we need a bit more work with Sebastian. So let's go down and have a look. So everything is starting to... The window's starting to narrow down now, but it's a case of where is that... where is that optimal window? So let's have a little play and see if we can fine-tune it. A few little tweaks. I'll try keeping the grates as close as possible, but we'll see how that goes for Sebastian. No hard tyres left to use, so do first run on the mediums for the usual 22. And then as for Gasly, he's at 86 right now. Okay, 2 optimals, still on the traction and the oversteer, so what can we do to make this a little bit closer to where we want it? Right, I've only made one minor tweak for Gasly. I've tried multiple different things, but I can't do anything without offsetting the 2 optimals I've got already. And the problem is with the straights, the rear wing angle or the front wing angle just offsets it too much between the two. So I can't have one without the other. So I'm going to leave straights on good and see if I can get the braking stability to where we need it. That'll be the better thing. That'll be the better thing to focus on for a circuit like this. So mediums, 22 laps, and again, same as before, guys. We'll skip to the end of practice unless anything happens, and see how the guys fare. Okay, that's the end of the third practice. Managed to get Gasly up to 88. Unfortunately, Sebastian, his highest one was 81, so I'm going to have to revert that strategy for him as we go into qualifying. So we will put that back to where it was. That's his most confident setup, so unfortunately that's the best we can do for him. So qualifying now. We've got everything we can. We've done everything we can do for the guys. So let's see at the end of their first runs where they stand. Right, I've left them on automatic for their first runs to see what they can do. Sebastian's now coming up the line to complete his lap. Hamilton's ahead of him, so he's not going to go faster than Hamilton. Hamilton will set the benchmark down, which is a 1:18.6. Vettel, meanwhile, will post a 1:18.9, so he's not too bad, or 1:19.0, depending on the times. Gasly is only a tenth off Hamilton, so that's not bad for the first runs to be that close to Hamilton. Obviously, we'll have to wait for everyone else to confirm their times, but so far, surprisingly, it's actually not too bad. Not too bad at the moment. The fact that Vettel's up there as close with Gasly as he is, only 0.2 off, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, last car, Bottas, is pulling into the pits now. So as it stands, pretty much the same as before. Gasly's in P8, but the field spread is pretty. Was a second from the leader down to the cut-off points, so the field is pretty tight-knit at the moment. So it's touch and go with who goes out or not. So far, Norris has been the big surprise. He's up in P4 ahead of Hamilton, Perez and Russell. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him throughout the weekend. But again, Vettel, he's down in 15th, but I think he's got a little bit more to give. I mean, we did put them both out on automatic for the first run. So it's not clear representation. I'm going to take control of their second runs when they go out. So we'll cut to the end of those second laps and see how the guys do. Right, end of the second runs now. Both guys have got quite a substantial bit of clean air between them. So between them and the other cars around them. So here comes Vettel as he rounds the final corner. Again with Titan fuel allegedly. He's down in the first, up in the second, so I don't know what the improvement's going to be, if there is any, and there isn't an improvement. So Gasly, he's up in the first, down in the second. So as he comes across the line, he stays P8, so he should be safe, but Vettel I'm a little bit more concerned about.
Back off.
So we've got
we just need to charge up. Copy.
Keep an eye on a few of the other guys. Oh no, he's made it through. All these guys have finished their laps and they haven't beaten him. So Vettel again has just scraped through by the skin of his teeth in this first qualifying session. Both the guys, for whatever reason, couldn't find the time. Gasly did, but Vettel was actually slower than his first lap. So that's a bit of worrying there, as all the other times are going through. Both McLarens are up there. Gasly's dropped down to P10 in in that shuffle. So, but the guys are all, both the guys are through to Q2, so we'll skip through to there and see how things stack up there. Right, coming up to the end of the first run, so I'm not holding, they're on scrub set of tyres, but I'm not holding much out for Vettel's first run because he caught a couple of cars that were coming out of the pits, unfortunately. So, we'll have to see where he sits. Carlos Sainz is 118.6, Vettel is going to be nowhere near that, yeah, 6/10 off, figured as much, but we'll see where Gasly stands when he comes out. And he goes 4.5 tenths off Sainz. So, okay, coming up to the end of the second runs, taking manual control. Gasly got out of the garage first, even though I asked Vettel to go first, but that's needs must. Gasly's up in both sectors, as is Vettel. So Gasly's going to come to the line now, and he will set a... He goes P5, he goes 3/10 quicker. As for Vettel, we'll follow him out the final corner as we put everything back to normal for Gasly. As Vettel comes to the line, does he get out of qualifying? No, he doesn't. He's just missed out there. He did go faster, but he unfortunately didn't quite make that cut, unfortunately. As Albon goes ahead of him, Zhou gets ahead of him, so Russell and Bottas are probably going to get ahead of him as well, but that's... oh no, Russell was ahead, so maybe... maybe Russell and Bottas... Oh no, Bottas is going to do it. Here he comes. So Vettel might qualify ahead of Russell. As Bottas crosses the line. Yep, Bottas goes P5. So that's that, it seems. So Gasly only just squeaked through this time. So yeah, Vettel unfortunately is out of qualifying. As yeah, Russell's out qualifying as well. So Vettel actually out qualified Russell this time. Russell's had a shocking qualifying. Gasly only just managed to squeak through. So the McLarens and the Alpines and Bottas in the Alfa Romeo have got the legs on us this weekend. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, guys. It's going to be a tough one, this race, I get the feeling. So we'll skip through to the end of Q3 and see how we place ourselves in the race tomorrow. Right, end of the second runs in Q3. I set Gasly out on a scrub set for his first run, so he's a little bit off the pace compared to everyone else, but the track grip is at its highest. He's the second to last car out on his lap. Bottas is going down the back straight now. So as Gasly comes out the final corner, he's green in both his sectors. So as he comes to the line, he will go. He stays P10, unfortunately, but he is only 2 thousandths off Ricciardo, so the pace is equal there. But yeah, that shows we haven't quite got the same pace as the McLarens or the Alpines this weekend. So this. We'll be doing our best to try and score the points as best we can. So, but that is Q3 over, and as you can see, Red Bull 1-2, Verstappen dominating qualifying throughout the whole session, with Perez second. There's all Ferrari second row, Leclerc ahead of Sainz. Bottas secures P5 ahead of Hamilton, and then Norris, Alonso, Ricciardo and Gasly rounding out the top 10. So once we've got to wait for the aerodynamics thing to reset this time before we can start doing more bits and pieces to the car. But at the moment,
Here we folks, we're back.
This is our. This is where we are at the moment in the race. Gasly will start P10 with Sebastian in P14. So let's have a look at the strategies. One stop is viable. So we're not going to try anything fancy this time. So let's have a look at... it's going to be a bit of a stretch, in all honesty. The problem is wait a minute, why are our... hang on a second. I need to go back to... there we go. So that... try and start that on this set of tyres. So if we go back to the strategy this time, yeah, it's going to be a bit tight on the tyres, but I do feel like the one stop is the way to go in this scenario. We're going to stick to lap 23 with Pierre. We'll keep him on that. But as for Sebastian, he's a little bit easier on his tyres, so we're going to go to lap 25 for him and bring him in 2 laps later. Stick to the one stop, but we will keep an open mind that there can be a safety car, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So we will up the fuel levels as high as they'll go, so we've got plenty of fuel to burn at the start of the race, and we will see what we can do. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier this race as opposed to the last race, but let's go to the grid for the Australian Grand Prix.
I hope I'm not tempting fate here, but there are quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. And there we have Pierre Gasly. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. The race start is mere seconds away. Brace yourselves for the Australian
There's the green flag at the back. 5 red lights to the Australian Grand Prix.
And it's lights out.
And
Away
we
go.
are away. Let's get Gasly on deploy.
Energy if you need it.
Do the best we can. He's already dropped down to 11th, unfortunately,
Done a good job.
as Ocon gets ahead of him, and he's having to fight off
Team just advanced.
the Alfa Romeo of Albon. Unfortunately, Albon still being the biggest goddamn nuisance in the world, as he won't go away, but fortunately Gasly does fight him off,
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race.
as Sebastian Vettel has gotten back into P15 ahead of Magnussen. So now let's have a look at everyone else is on mediums apart from Ocon, who started on the hard, so it's no wonder Gasly is keeping up with him, but it's already dropped us out of Alonso's range, which is making this a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. So now, as Ocon goes defensive through these corners, I want to try and get Gasly past him as quickly as possible. So let's wait until this part here, go overtake and then attack. Want to try and get Gasly alongside him if we can, which he's not going to do. He's just going to park himself right under the rear wing. There we go, attack again. Come up here, we need you to think about making a move on Ocon.
They'll come to us.
There you go. And he's going to go down the inside. He's going to go for it, and he is through. That's just what we needed from Gasly to get past Ocon there. He's going to hang Ocon out here. Ocon's never going to find a way through there. So Gasly is back up into P10.
Great play there. They've moved up a place.
So now we've got Gasly ahead of Ocon back in P10. So hopefully he can get a little bit closer to Alonso. Meanwhile, Vettel is just ahead of Magnussen. So he's a little ways behind Guan Yu Zhou, who in turn is holding on to the back of Russell. Russell got a really good start to get up ahead of all those places. We got yellow flags briefly, and there's a Ferrari off as Carlos Sainz has gone off. So he's did he lock up?
Let's see what happened there. Let's have another look.
Locked up while fighting off Bottas, and well, fortunately he's kept it out of the wall, but he's lost he's lost all those places.
And the team had such high hopes.
He's lost all those places. He's now right down at the back of the field. And that's giving Gasly a free place. Unfortunately, he's dropped a little bit away from Alonso. So we need to consider what we're going to do next, because we kind of need Gasly to try and keep pace with Alonso. The only saving grace is that Ocon, he's holding back Alexander Albon on those hard tyres, which is giving us a little bit of a buffer. Let's see if we can get on Gasly on push, just to try and help him keep pace with Alonso a little bit. I'm going to conserve with Sebastian, because he's actually right in the middle of all this, or at the back of this pile, I should say. Unfortunately, Gasly's he's still out of DRS range, and unfortunately, Ocon has got DRS, and that's just going to make our race a little bit more difficult. So now we're going to need Gasly to do a little bit of defending. There's another yellow flag. As ahead of us, it's 3 wide between the two McLarens.
Just had a spin.
Oh, it's Albon who's spun off.
Now watch this.
I almost didn't see that. Albon, and yep, there he goes. He spins out,
This is where they spun out.
and that's backed off Russell from the rest of that pack. So
Team are devastated.
fortunately, Albon's not going to give us a bit of trouble this time around, but
Pick up the pace a bit.
Yep.
it's not helping our cause, as the pack ahead of Gasly is unfortunately getting away, and Ocon is just going to make the biggest dive bomb round the outside. Unfortunately, Gasly's going to have the line through this next corner and going to force Ocon out. No. Come on, Gasly, I need you to... Ocon's on the hard tyres and he's still able to keep up with us. That just doesn't make any sense to me at this like this. So now Alonso has pulled 1.5 seconds over Gasly, because Ocon is being the teammate for Alonso and just making us having to fight really hard when we really don't want to be doing. So now Gasly's going to try his hardest, but I feel it's going to be a bit in vain the way this is going, because the two McLarens are just pulling Alonso with them, and Gasly really can't do anything about it. So now Ocon's going to have a look down the inside, and yep, that's
Yeah, take it easy.
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty much that. Ocon's just got straight past us, so
Let's focus.
That's a good overtake.
yeah, that's a bit annoying, guys, that we're struggling to keep up with Alpine on hard tyres when we're on mediums. So And I'm just going to let Gasly sit behind Ocon and let Ocon pull him along. Meanwhile, Sebastian in this train has been pulled along by Russell. He's not doing too bad. He's still holding on. Meanwhile, we've got Gasly just sitting behind Ocon, who's 1.6 behind his teammate now. Well, like I say, I'm quite content to just let Gasly just sit behind Ocon, really, and let Ocon pull him along. Because Gasly's ERS has already just like completely evaporated already, and he's only been 5 laps. So I don't know what's going on with this ERS. Just for whatever reason, just really doesn't make any sense. But for now, in the meantime, we'll put Gasly back on balance, keep his fuel in check.
Save fuel.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Vettel, Zhou's actually got past Russell. That's a surprise. Zhou obviously got a good heave of momentum there. As for Sebastian, he's right on the back of this group of Russell. Gasly, meanwhile, I just noticed has overtaken Ocon of his own volition. So just missed that, but we'll have a look at the replay. And yeah, Gasly, of his complete own volition, goes clean round the outside. And unlike Ocon, unlike himself, Ocon can't make that move. Can't make that move stick and hold on to the position. So Gasly's back ahead, and Vettel is not that far behind him. So it's, Ocon's a little bit of a wild card because he's the only one who started on the hard tyres, whereas everyone else is on mediums. But it's a question of whether they're going to do the 2-stop or 2-stop or the 1-stop. But we'll worry about that another time, as we're going to focus on Vettel now. Is he going to go around the outside of Russell? Russell's just going to force him out, but Vettel, he's not having it. He's holding it through, and he's gone round the outside. He's overtaken George Russell for 12th place. That's really good for driving from Sebastian. That's a safety car, and multiple cars have crashed out as well. So let's have a look. Oh, is it Williams Civil War? Is it Williams Civil War? It is, and that is Yuki Tsunoda straight into the back of Mick Schumacher. And that's at least one Williams out.
Safety car.
Mick Schumacher is out of the race. But we've only started. It's only 7 laps. I'm going to ignore the pit options. We may as well. And that's going to give me the opportunity to put Gasly
Schumacher crashed.
Copy.
and help these guys build up their ERS and their fuel, which is much appreciated. So Gasly's got up to P9 ahead of Ocon,
Got back a bit.
but Sebastian just managed to get ahead of Russell before that safety car came out.
Save fuel.
The Sector 3 yellow flags came up literally just as Vettel got ahead of George Russell. So that is that's very fortunate for us. So it gives Sebastian a chance to rest and reset and think about what he's going to do when it comes to Guan Yu Zhou. But more importantly, this is going to allow Gasly to get right back up to the guys that were almost getting away, which is Norris, who's lost a place to Alonso in that. And Ricciardo is actually the lead McLaren. So that's a bit of a mix-up for McLaren. Norris had the edge in qualifying, but Ricciardo seems to have taken advantage in the race. At the moment, their tyre wear, we're all about the same on tyre wear, bar Ocon, who started on the mediums. Tsunoda has obviously come in because he smashed off his front wing in the process of taking out his teammate. And Albon and Sainz, after their respective mistakes, are still back down here as well. So this will give these guys a bit of a chance to get back into the race. But for now, everyone else, we're now closed up behind the safety car. So at the moment, the race standing, Leclerc has actually gotten ahead of both the Red Bulls. So Leclerc's leading the Australian Grand Prix now, and he needs to. Verstappen has won the first 2 races, who is now in second place. Perez is third. Bottas is in 4th place, holding off Hamilton in 5th. And then obviously Ricciardo, Alonso, Norris, Gasly and Ocon rounding out the top 10. And that's followed by Zhou, Vettel, Russell, the 2 Hasses of Magnussen and Hulkenberg, with Stroll ahead of Sainz, Albon and Tsunoda, and Schumacher is obviously out of this race. So Vettel has built up a majority of his ERS already, as opposed to Gasly, but Gasly was quite
Got loads of energy.
Gasly was quite low. So we'll worry about that. We'll worry about the restart when we get to it. So we'll fast forward to that restart, and hopefully we can get Gasly into the mix with Norris, Alonso and Ricciardo for some okay points. Right, coming up to the end of the safety car period now.
And when we restart overtake control line.
Get them both on overtake. They're already on the appropriate tyre and that, and Leclerc has bolted. So here we go. On the restart, they're both attacking and overtake mode. So let's see what we can do. If we can get Gasly in the mix with both of these guys. We're going to put Vettel back down to neutral on his ERS, and we'll also go back to standard on his tyres. And meanwhile, Gasly still there with the McLarens and that, which is what we need him to be. And Vettel, just noticed it, has gone for the move on Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to go around the outside. Come on, Sebastian. Make this work. He's on attack on the tyres. He's going to keep his foot in. He's going to keep his foot in, and not quite. Not quite. He gave that a go, Sebastian. He very nearly got past him. Meanwhile, Gasly has... it's not good. He's dropped away from... he's already dropped away from Lando. That's not a good start, in all honesty. Going to need to do his best to try and keep within the DRS range as we go through the next turn. I don't want to mess around with the ERS too much because they already used a lot of it on that opening section. So we're not going to have DRS for a while yet, but Alonso is now having a look at Ricciardo. Ricciardo's pushed him all the way to the inside to compromise this line. Meanwhile, Gasly, let's go overtaking aggressive, see if we can get any closer. Nope, that's not going to work. So he's a little bit closer, but he's not by much. Meanwhile, I just noticed a side-by-side between Ricciardo and Alonso. Alonso round the outside. Ricciardo's going to have the inside for the next corner, though. And that's just going to put Alonso out just enough. Yep, Ricciardo maintains his position, but that has allowed Gasly to catch back up to Norris, which is a definite big help. Meanwhile, Alonso is still having a look at Ricciardo. And has gone side by side again through that high-speed chicane. Alonso is really wants to make the most, really wants to have a go at the McLarens today, but Ricciardo is going to hold him off. I'm thankful for Alonso doing that because that's allowed Gasly to catch back up to Norris for when the DRS activates again. So we're going to come out the corner. And Gasly is having a look at Norris. Thinks a little bit better of it. Tucks back in the slipstream. Gasly thought about it, but again, thought better of it. Doesn't want to push too hard. But the DRS should be active now. So going down the back straight, we may... I'll leave the back straight. That's going to be a bit more of a risky move, that one. But if we go down the pit straight on the next lap, we should have a good shot this time. So we've used quite a bit of our tyre wear, so we've got less than some of the other guys around us. But Gasly still keeping pace with the guys in front of him, which is what we needed to do in this stint. Now Alonso's got DRS open. He's not quite going to make the move. He thought about it, but Ricciardo was just like, nope, just straight up, nope. You're not going to get through that. Meanwhile, we're going to see if we can do anything with Gasly. Truth be told, I may just keep these guys in the DRS just to help pull them along. We'll see how that goes. But there goes Alonso. He's through on Ricciardo. And in the background, Zhou has gotten ahead of Ocon. So now, let's have a look at Sebastian. He's down the inside of Ocon now. Get him on attack just to get him through, and he's clean through. So Ocon has dropped off a lot of pace now, those hard tyres. Again, as I've said before, the hard tyres during this particular patch are not a great race tyre. So now we've got Vettel knocking on the door of points, and Gasly just lurking behind the McLarens. Alonso's already bolted, he's gone. That is it. That is actually insane, the pace Alonso's got. He's already pulled the second gap to Ricciardo. So Alonso, he's going to be chasing after Hamilton and Bottas now. Meanwhile, in the background, Ricciardo is having to defend from Lando Norris. And Gasly lurking in the background. So we're going to get ready with Gasly because he's going to be in prime position here. Overtake.
Use overtake.
Wait for him to come out the corner and get him on attack on the tyres. So he's going to be in a position here. Not quite. And where the hell has Zhou come from? Zhou's already... No, Zhou, go away. Go away. You're not a part of this. I just need Gasly to make one single move, and he can't get the move done, unfortunately. But all these guys have now bunched up massively because Zhou, Vettel, Ocon and Russell are now on the back of us. So we're going to be... we want to try and get past the McLarens, but we're going to be focusing a little bit on Zhou behind us because he's looking a bit racy now. And Vettel is not close enough to properly challenge the AlphaTauri. We're all going to have DRS here, so that should protect Gasly a little bit from Zhou, unless Zhou's going to think about sending it. But no, everyone's just defending from each other at the moment. So that's a little bit. Again, the problem is that poor Gasly hasn't got any ERS to work with.
Okay.
So now we've got Vettel's ERS going. Let's see if he can do anything. That's not going to amount to much, unfortunately. We'll try it again because he is a little bit closer. Come on, Sebastian. Sebastian's not quite close enough to make any real difference. Gasly, on the other hand, he's thought about the move on, I think that was Norris. Let's get rid of that. It was indeed Lando Norris. Gasly had a look. Was still on aggressive with the tyres on him because I had to put that to protect him from Zhou.
Yeah.
So he's used a little bit of his tyres, but he thought about the move on the McLaren. So we've had quite a lot of racing here, and it's only been 15 laps at the moment.
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Okay.
So now, see if Gasly... not quite. The McLaren's weaving left to right to have a look at his own teammate. Vettel is having a look around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou. He nearly had the move done there, and he's still thinking about the move. He's down the inside. So let's get him on aggressive and overtake on the exit. Come on, Sebastian. He's really having a look on the move, but he's not coming out to make any sort of a dive bomb, though. It's not what I needed to do. And what is the Ocon doing? Ocon's just made a ludicrous dive bomb. Everyone's like trying to fight each other for position here. And I'm trying to keep up with it, and I can't. Meanwhile, Gasly did indeed get ahead of Norris, I believe. No, it's Ricciardo he got ahead of. I'm trying to keep up with everything, and I can't. Everything's going on at the moment. I was trying to get Vettel to keep Ocon. Ocon just made a ridiculous dive bomb from out of nowhere there. But Ricciardo, his tyres have gone absolutely to pot at this moment.
We just need to push now.
Okay, copy.
I mistakenly put Vettel back down to conserve on his tyres, which I didn't want him to do. So now, unfortunately, the hard tyres for Ocon are now starting to come back into this now, because our mediums are starting to wear out. Meanwhile, the McLaren, unfortunately, has re-overtaken Gasly. So,
And McLaren with a great overtake.
fortunately, Gasly is directly on the back of Ricciardo. And Ricciardo does not have DRS, so let's go for the attack. Unless Gasly is just going to sit there behind him, which of course he's going to. Meanwhile, Vettel's slipped away from Zhou, and he's focusing more on defending from Ocon. So come on, Gasly. Getting down the inside of Ricciardo. There he goes. And straight down the inside. And Zhou thought about having a look there at Ricciardo himself.
We are expecting
And
rain soon.
there's the forecast for the rain. We did see it on the pre-race indicator. I didn't mention it, but the rain is set to arrive very, very soon. So that explains why Ocon's been put onto the mediums. The hards, sorry. But it depends on how heavy that rain gets. So let's see how this... we're going to have to see how this plays out. But for now, you can see it's starting to get overcast. So we'll have to wait and see how bad the rain actually is. Because if we can hold out for the rain a little bit and see how these guys react in their pit stop phases, we may just be able to sneak these mediums a little bit longer and jump onto the intermediates if everyone makes their stops early. At the moment, Gasly, he's managed to get back within DRS range of Norris, which is good. This is going to allow him to pull a little bit away from the guys behind him. So let's see if we can go attack with Pierre.
Okay.
We're going to need to, because unfortunately Ricciardo is right there, and he's going to make a move down the inside on us. Blocking from Norris has made this a little bit more hard work than it needs to be. Still fighting Ricciardo round the outside as we go aggressive on the tyres, but Ricciardo unfortunately is going to force this one. We're still holding on as best we can down the inside.
This is good. Come on.
We're going to be behind... no, we're still fighting this. We're still side by side with Ricciardo, and we're just about still holding this through. We're still side by side, gaining on Lando Norris. Norris is going to park the car awkwardly in the middle.
Okay.
Ricciardo's got the inside though, so I think this may be... Nope, Gasly's still fighting. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to hold this, and he's going to poke his nose down the inside of Lando Norris. Ricciardo's still side by side with Gasly. These two have been side by side for half the lap now. But unfortunately, Gasly is boxed in, and that's going to allow Ricciardo to squeeze past Norris as well. But Gasly, in return, is going to go down the inside of Lando. Unfortunately, Lando's not going to have DRS, which is going to give us the position. And Zhou is also going to get his stuck in as well. He's down the inside of Lando. Vettel's still lurking in the background as well. So this midfield pack is unbelievably close since the restart. As we're still chasing Ricciardo. If we look at this, it's Ricciardo, Gasly, Norris, Zhou, who's still side by side with him, Vettel, Ocon. If we go on the onboard, Ocon and Russell just lurking in the background. And Sainz is caught up to this pack as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all fighting each other for position. This is fantastic to watch. And Ricciardo is literally only 2 seconds behind Bottas, who's been overtaken by Alonso. So Alonso's having a cracking race. Hamilton has broken away and he's got ahead. And then these top 3 are all together. So Sainz could have been here as well. But at the moment, we're still fighting for position. Norris has just edged out. Zhou. So now, yeah, look at how close all these guys are. And we're all fighting each other so hard for like the low end of the points and that. But Gasly's going to get DRS off Ricciardo, which is going to protect us from Norris. And no! Oh no! Gasly locked up, and oh no! No! That's really put us out of position now. Oh no! No! And oh no! The rain's come. Don't need to watch the replay. That's come, but the rain's here. Oh no! That's not good. Right, Gasly's probably locked up and ruined his tyres, and his tyre wears worse. So, that's so annoying. 95% rain. Do we gamble? I'm going to gamble with Gasly. I'm going to do this now. We're going to go on to a set of intermediates to start with. We're going to pit him in straight away. We might as well. He's locked up and made that mistake. So in comes Gasly.
Slippery conditions. Yeah.
Sebastian. We're going to put him back on balance with his fuel because he's about to run low.
Down fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Copy.
Well, this is going to be the litmus test because, yeah, the rain is slowly getting worse and worse. So there's the low track rubber. And Ocon's going to go around the outside. That's going to give him the inside.
Anything I can do?
So let's look at the weather indicator. It's going to be raining for a while. We have to see what everyone else does in regards to Sebastian's pit stop. But meanwhile, Gasly's come out. He is on the intermediate tyres.
Save fuel.
So we're going to let Gasly do what he needs to do. He's just behind Tsunoda, but this won't take him that long to get past him. It's going to be so... Tsunoda, get out of the way. You're not in this race. So now, watch Vettel.
You're in a good place.
So, at the moment, what is everyone else doing? As we go up near the front runners, we need to watch what these guys do. As Perez is challenging for the lead. These guys are going so slowly, but they're staying out. But Verstappen comes in. Verstappen has made the decision to come in. What does Hamilton do? He comes in. Right. I'm making this call now. Right, Vettel, you're coming in. you are coming in for a set of intermediate tyres. Everyone else is coming in. Everyone's splitting their strategy. So, Vettel, we're going to pull Vettel in. But here's the litmus test, though, because here comes Gasly.
Just pit limiter. Just a reminder on pit limiter.
He's being held up by a few cars, but he should. Oh, the bloody Haas is staying out, and this is just making... Oh. The bloody Haas has stayed out. And that's going to allow all these guys that Gasly was ahead of. Get out of the way, Haas! Please, Gasly, just get past this guy. Just get past him. Get past him. Get past him. Why is it so hard to like get ahead of like all these clowns? Seriously. But yeah, we got Alonso, Hamilton, Russell has stayed out on the hard tyres, on his dry tyres. So hopefully, if he can hold Hamilton and Alonso up enough to let Gasly catch up, I will be very much appreciated to that. So he definitely made the right call with Gasly for definite. And Gasly should not be too far behind. There he is. Meanwhile, Ricciardo has only just got past Hülkenberg, and here is Sebastian Vettel. Let's get him on overtake and attack. We want him past Hülkenberg. He was the idiot who decided to stay on the dry tyres, so... Oh, come on! Why is it so hard to overtake a car that's made the fucking piss-poor decision to stay on dry tyres? Why is it so hard? Vettel, just make the move. Just make the move. Just dive. Oh, that's just allowed Ricciardo to get... Oh, that's just allowed Ricciardo to get away for absolutely no reason. Absolutely none. Absolutely no reason for that to happen. But it has... But regardless... Oh, no, Ricciardo... Wait, what happened to the field? Oh, Ricciardo was on dries as well. Or was that Norris? It might have been Norris, actually, but... Oh, well. This has worked out immensely for us, because Gasly's in P6, and he's directly behind Hamilton and Leclerc, who in turn, Alonso's gained massively. He's already on the back of Perez in P3, fight for P2. Meanwhile, Verstappen, big brain manoeuvre. He was the first one who stopped out of everyone, has retaken the lead, 9 seconds ahead of Perez, who's got Alonso, very quick Fernando Alonso for company. And meanwhile, in the background, you got Leclerc and Hamilton, with Gasly looking on in the back of all of this. Bottas kind of in his own little world, and then here we are with Vettel, 2.5 seconds behind there, with Sainz for company. So Albon's managed to bring himself back into this really well. In the meantime, we've got Norris and Tsunoda have gone onto the full wet tyres. That's interesting in regards to those guys. Meanwhile, Albon's having a look at the Haas of Magnussen. So now we don't need to do anything drastic with these guys anymore. Gasly's in a really comfortable position, just like watching the back of these guys to see if they make any mistakes and whatnot. But having both cars in the points is definitely reassuring. We definitely made the right call with Gasly after his lock-up. And Vettel didn't actually lose too much time staying out on those dry tyres. He's actually gained, if anything, he's gained 3 positions on where he was. Whereas Gasly has gained a couple of positions himself. So this has actually worked out quite reasonably for us in this first half of the race. So we'll have to see where these guys progress. Gasly's actually doing really well to like just about keep on the back of these guys, Hamilton and Leclerc, which is quite astounding actually in the wet. And then, but more often than not, Gasly's sticking with them, and they are inching ever closer to Alonso and Perez. So, you know, anything should happen. Gasly, if Gasly gets a bit fortunate, you never know. You never know. I won't say it, but you never know. Norris has pitted off the full wet tyres, obviously. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Here's Bottas, and now Vettel has got Sainz for company. Is Sainz going to try and get down the inside? Nope. Vettel just about holds that. It's only going to be a matter of time before Sainz gets past us, but the wet, with the wet weather, it's definitely making it a little bit more easier to defend against with no DRS. So the McLarens have dropped off massively, so this is definitely helping us points-wise if things should stay as they are. But again, it depends on the weather because it is going to dry up towards the end of the race. So I'm content to leave the guys as they are for now, and we'll see how things stack up later in the race. Okay, we skipped ahead about 10 laps. The track condition has changed to wet apparently, and that has brought Sainz in. So is he going on to the wet tyres? Is he going to big brain this? He is. He's going on to the wet tyres. But how long? It's going to be a brief heavy rain period, but I don't think it's going to last long enough to warrant staying on those tyres. So we'll have to see. Magnussen also pits. So where things stand at the moment, Gasly's in his own little world. He did drop away from Hamilton, unfortunately, but it took him... Hamilton was only gaining at like a 10.5 at each rate. But Gasly has been holding this gap to Alonso pretty nicely. As for Sebastian, he did get passed by Sainz in the end, but he's been pulling away. He's been gradually pulling away from both Magnussen and Albon, who were just behind us. So Vettel's in his own little world doing his thing, but he's pretty safe from the cars behind him. It's Gasly, his only main threat is Bottas at the moment, unless something happens to Alonso. But the track's gotten to the full wet. Alonso's still on the back of Hamilton, so those two aren't quite finished with each other yet. Leclerc, on the other hand, has just come into the pits now, and he's going on to the full wet tyres. So, but Ferrari, they're taking a big gamble doing this because the heavy rain is not going to last long enough to warrant this, and we're only just over the 4mm rainfall threshold. So that's going to bring Leclerc out ahead of Vettel. He's going to be quicker than Vettel at this point, but I don't see the rain lasting long enough for that to be the case, because both the Norris and Tsunoda did the same thing, but then they came straight back in for intermediate tyres. So it's tricky. It's a tricky one because I don't... We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Gasly's in 5th at the moment. He's still got a 4-second cushion over Valtteri Bottas. But at the moment, we're both on the intermediate side, so we're going to be pretty much equalised in this full wet period. Leclerc's here. He's pulling out quite a gap to Sebastian, but again, tyre advantage and a better car. But like I said, I don't see the Ferraris or anyone else that have pitted onto the wet tyres, which is both the Hasses. I can't see them staying on them for that long because the rain is going to ease up. So Ferrari may have just shot themselves in the foot with this one. So here's Gasly. He's 2.5 behind Alonso. So the Alpine is still a bit superior to us in this regard. Hamilton's in 3rd. He's like dropped way behind the Red. The Red Bulls have been absolutely dominant this race. I mean, Leclerc got ahead earlier on, but great strategy call from Red Bull to get Verstappen in as soon as the rain started falling. paid off. And yeah, we pulled off the same with Gasly as well. We would have been ahead of Alonso if we didn't get stuck behind that Haas as well. But it is what it is at this point in time. So Bottas is slowly starting to close in on Gasly. And Albon's starting to close in on Vettel. So it's us against Alfa Romeo at the moment. Gasly's... Leclerc, is trying to gain back on Bottas. But as you can see on the right-hand side, the track has gone back to damp. So the track is going to start favouring the intermediate guys again. So Ferrari, they tried to outsmart them. They tried to play it clever with the rainfall, but it's not working because the rainfall's just going to keep going down now until around lap 50, where it goes back to dry. So at the moment, we don't have much to fear from Leclerc in that at this stage, because the track water's just going to go down. There's Bottas. Bottas, he's just ahead of Leclerc by about 3.5 seconds. Yes, Sainz has come straight back into the pits, look. Sainz has just come straight back into the pits, and he's going to go on to the intermediates, I bet. We'll stick with it. And there you are, there's the green wall tyres. So Ferrari have basically just handed this race to Red Bull on a silver platter, because now Leclerc's going to come back in, and that's just going to give Sebastian another free place. And there you go, there's Magnussen, one of the Haas's. They were on the wet tyres as well. So, yeah, complete strategy blunder from Ferrari. This has not worked out in their favour. So now we've got Gasly in P5. Vettel's going to go up to P7 when Leclerc comes in. He's not going to have a substantial gap to keep ahead of us. So it's going to be Aston Martin versus Alfa Romeo for this portion of the race until the dry period. So we'll have to see how that goes. Right, we've just cut to lap 48, 10 laps to go. The rain has stopped on circuit. And Gasly has been slowly reeled in by Bottas. We've still got a bit of a damp track at the moment that's slowly going down. But I don't want to pull the trigger too early on switching to dry tyres. So we're going to keep Gasly out. He's going to be holding position. But as for Sebastian, I'm going to keep him out for one more lap, because the water just went back up a little briefly and now it's going back down again. I'm going to keep Sebastian out for one more lap, and I'm going to see what we can do with his strategy, because if the track dries up enough just before, because we've got no more rain coming, the sun's going to come back out even for that matter. So we'll watch. We'll keep an eye on the top left, because Vettel is quite a ways ahead. So it's just a case of knowing when to go for the dry tyres, because it looks dry out there now. But if you could put the dry tyres on now, and just end up losing positions left, right, and centre. So Verstappen's not coming in. Perez is not coming in. So right, I'm gonna hold position with Gasly. I'm gonna get him to stick him out. But Vettel, I'm going to pull the trigger with Sebastian. And we're going to put him onto a fresh set of soft tyres. I believe that works. Yep, so confirm changes. So I'm going to take the gamble with Sebastian.
Box.
I'm going to take the gamble with Sebastian, and I'm going to try it. We're going to pit him now onto the soft tyres. We're going to make the call. We got nothing to lose with where we got nothing to lose.
Make sure you get your
It's worth making the call because the track water is going to the track dampness is going to continue to go down. So it will be worth Sebastian making that call now. He's going to drop down quite a few positions, back down to 16. He comes out, he's in clean air. He's got no other cars around him, so this is going to give him an opportunity to push like crazy, which will put him on the fuel.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
And we are now officially into the dry period. And Sebastian Vettel has not come in. What about Perez? He is not coming in either. Everyone's got to make a stop. They have to. Right, go big or go home. We're going to do it. We're going to pick Gasly as well. But he's got no soft tyres to burn, unfortunately. He's used up all his soft tyres. That's 13 laps. That's 14 laps. So we're just going to stick him on a fresh set of mediums. That's going to give him more room to go for it. So Gasly's going to come in.
Box.
In comes Gasly. Now we're going to follow Sebastian.
Copy that.
We're going to follow Sebastian. It's a dry track, so... And there we go. Albon's in. So we've made the right call. As Gasly comes out of the pits, he's still... Everyone else is pit behind us. Apart from those guys up ahead. So all these guys in the pit lane, Sebastian's going to gain massively on this. We've absolutely finessed that, and all these guys ahead of Sebastian as well. Inters. Leclerc, Inters, Ocon, Inters, Gasly's on mediums, Bottas, Inters, Alonso, Inters, all these guys. There's Verstappen, he's pitted. So that's the time. We definitely made the right call there. We definitely made the right call. Right. Gasly, push as hard as you can and go aggressive on the tyres. You've got the tyres to waste. You can go harder on the tyres than Sebastian can.
Push more.
Yeah.
So now we're going to watch. There we go. Perez, what have you done? Perez has stayed out on Inters. There's softs for Hamilton. I'm assuming it's going to be softs for Alonso and Bottas, but here comes Gasly. Come on, Gasly. Come on, Pierre. You're pushing so hard, Pierre. Come on. Right, there's in his box. Hamilton and Alonso have already boxed. They're coming out the pit lane now. Gasly is going to get he's going to get past Alonso. Oh, that is perfect. And we're right on the back of Hamilton now. Go for it, Gasly. Come on, go for it, mate. Go for it. Attack him.
Copy.
Stay on aggressive. You've got all the tyres in the world to use, mate. Go for it. Why not? Sebastian Vettel, he's got the fastest lap. He's been on the soft tyres, but Gasly, Hamilton's 28 seconds behind Perez, but we're both going to gain so massively on Perez being on those worn Inters. Right, Gasly, we're going to have to put back to balance. Same with Sebastian using the fuel, but Gasly is right with.
Save fuel.
Gasly is right with Hamilton. He's going to have the DRS. The DRS is active. Go on, Gasly. Go for it. Why not? Go for the move, Pierre. He's going to look at it. He's going to go for it. Round the outside of the Mercedes. He's clean round him. Hamilton's trying to fight it back as best he can.
Some lift and coast.
Unfortunately, Pierre's going to just run out of the ERS, but he's still going to fight this. He's down the inside. Push on the fuel. Push on the fuel. He's still going to have. He's still going to be there with Hamilton. He's still right up the gearbox of Hamilton. He's not quite going to make the move, but he's going to get a second about DRS. Gasly's got the fastest lap, though. This is brilliant stuff from Pierre. Can he make the move? We've got him on attack. Hamilton's just going to hold that, though. We are so on the back of thing. Vettel again sets the fastest lap of the race. But I think Hamilton's tyres now have just started to get into that optimal window. As Perez pit, Perez has pitted. He was well ahead. Wow, he was well ahead of. We were never going to get that, but Gasly. Oh, he's so close to Hamilton. Right, push, Gasly, push. Right, if you notice a cutaway, guys, I apologise, but again, living with someone has its downfalls doing this. So, Gasly, we are so close. I can't believe Gasly's actually in a position where he's fighting for a podium, but he's just not. He's just not got the ERS to do it. He just runs out of ERS at the worst time.
Yeah.
So we're having to rely on the fuel. He's down the inside. He's going to go for it. He's down the inside of Hamilton, and he is up into P3 of the Australian Grand Prix with 5 laps to go. Oh my lord! Is Gasly actually? If Gasly pulls this off,
That's going to help you.
if Gasly pulls this off, I swear down, this is going to be the best thing to ever occur. We're going to harvest through this section to just build up the ERS a little bit more. We've got plenty of tyre. We've got more tyre wear than soft tyre, guys, so that's ideal. So back onto neutral down the fast section. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to try and stick with this the whole time. But Gasly, oh my, Gasly. The whole team has done well. We have made some bold strategy calls that have pulled off. I'm not going to lie. Vettel is in P7. He's done brilliantly to get there after where he was. So he's in a world of his own. So we're pretty safe to leave him where he is. Meanwhile, here's Gasly. He's used a little bit of fuel there. I'm going to leave him I'm going to leave him where he is on the fuel for the time being. Just down this end of this straight. He's still on aggressive, but Hamilton is going to get past him. I can't do much about that.
4 laps to go.
So just try and stick with him as best we can down here, using a bit of the slipstream. But
Race position gained.
yeah, Hamilton was always going to get that back. But as I said, we've got more tyre wear to spare. Let's save a little bit of fuel now. I just don't want to use Gasly's I don't want to use Gasly's ERS until the absolute last possible minute. If we can stick with Hamilton for as best we can through here, he's going to get DRS off of. He's going to get DRS off of Hamilton through here, but even on aggressive, Gasly's tyres are not wearing out as quick as Hamilton, so that's a definite added bonus. So the DRS is going to help pull us back in to range of Hamilton. So now, big brain strategies here. We're going to go. We're going to be in the DRS zone, but I'm going to put Gasly on harvest. And he's still going to get a good exit. And he's still going to overtake Hamilton down to turn 1 for P3. So we're going to leave him on harvest because Gasly's going to have the DRS. Why not?
Good job.
We may as well just harvest DRS as best we can
Aston Martin with a great play there.
for the last 3 laps. Can Gasly pull this off? If Gasly pulls this off, this is going to be absolutely brilliant. To score the car, honestly, the car is in the lower end of the points. The only reason we're up here is because of Gasly's driving, and B, the team, the strategy calls that I've made have actually brought us back into this race. So as we go down the back straight, I'm not too fussed if Hamilton overtakes us down here because we are going to have the ERS later on to actually fight this back. So here comes Hamilton. Gasly's actually going to hold him off though, so we'll take that. He's going to go through the last few corners, and now We've got 2 laps. We've still got 2 laps to go. This is the penultimate lap coming up now as Hamilton. He's going to go through on the left-hand side. That's fine. We're going to put Gasly back to neutral here. Because Gasly's got a decent amount of ERS saved up now, so I can leave him on neutral for these next couple of laps and get past Hamilton when it counts, because he's got the tyres over Hamilton. Pierre's got plenty of tyres over Hamilton at this stage of the race, so this is going to be down to the final lap to if Gasly gets past Hamilton, providing this back-marking Williams of Tsunoda does not get in the way. So now we're going to watch on board. Not on board. Verstappen starts the last lap. Hamilton's got DRS off Tsunoda, but we have got DRS off Hamilton. So now we're going to pull back up behind. No, that's not what we need. Tsunoda, get out of the way! Are you serious? Are you actually serious? This has cost us. Oh my God, this game has just gifted Hamilton massively. I do not believe that this has happened. We're back in DRS. We're back in DRS. That's fine. We've still got DRS. Hamilton does not. Right, back onto aggressive. Save on the fuel. Oh, that... If the Williams had screwed us over, I would have rage quit right there and then. That would have been absolutely... That would have been absolute highway robbery if that happened. Oh, my Lord. Right. Last lap. Gasly and Hamilton for the final step of the podium. Gasly is right up behind Hamilton. I'm thinking about the move on the back straight. Let's do it. Right, overtake, push, attack, sorry, on the tyres. We'll leave him on attack. And Gasly, round the outside. He's going to go round the outside. He's going to make the move. Verstappen wins the Australian Grand Prix. But Gasly, he's out of ERS, unfortunately. But this is going to be... I'm going to need him to just... He's forced out Hamilton. He's got a little bit of leeway. We're pushing him to the line. Come on, Pierre. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Yes, he's done it! Pierre Gasly has got P3 in the Australian Grand Prix. It's our first podium for the team in this career mode in just our 3rd race of Season 2. And here comes here comes Sebastian Vettel. It's our first double points finish for the team. Oh, that's great from Sebastian. P3 and P7 for Gasly. Albon's going to finish P8. He's going to be chased by Stroll and Leclerc to the line. Absolute disaster for Ferrari. There's been a crash as well. I didn't even notice. Crash involved. Oh, we missed the replay. We missed the replay. Ricciardo and Sainz have taken each other out, but Pierre frickin' Gasly has pulled off an absolute miracle work for P3 in the Australian Grand Prix. What a signing that this man has been. What a podium that is. Gasly's driving, even though he made a mistake, he locked up at the end of that first stint, even though he made that mistake.
What a beautiful sight that is on the podium, and a true crowning achievement for everyone involved.
There he is, P3, even though he made that mistake. The strategy brought him back in. We called him in early for the Inters. We called him in early. We didn't actually call him in early. We called Vettel in early for the soft tyres.
Sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium.
And after the disaster of Jeddah, he's come back and scored a fantastic podium. What a team effort to get him on the podium. Our first for the team, our first double points finish for the team. Wow, 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 wow. I can't believe we've pulled that off absolutely to perfection. And there's the final classification there. Max Verstappen wins the 3rd race of the season, his 3rd in a row. ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez. This man here, Pierre Gasly, driver of the day. We didn't have any softs for him, and I'm glad we didn't, because those mediums worked absolutely brilliantly against those worn soft tyres that Hamilton and Alonso had. And we just had enough fuel at the end to push Gasly to the line ahead of Hamilton for that P3. Hamilton 4th, Alonso 5th, Bottas 6th, Sebastian Vettel double points finish. Sebastian Vettel's first points in 2 seasons. No points last season, but we managed to get him the points this season. Again, the strategy call brought him back in. We gambled early with Sebastian on that second stop, and it worked. It got him well ahead of Albon and Stroll and Leclerc, rounding out the top 10. Ferrari absolutely bottling the strategy for Leclerc to end up down there. He gets the fastest. He did get the fastest lap, but to compound Ferrari's misery, Sainz and Ricciardo actually crashed. We missed the replay at the end because we were so focused on Sebastian. But Sainz and Ricciardo had a coming together that saw them. They're still classified ahead of Magnussen and Tsunoda, but they crashed out of the race right at the end. In the Drivers' Championship, Pierre Gasly, that 3rd place puts him up to 5th in the drivers' standings ahead of Valtteri Bottas and George Russell. But Verstappen's stance is commanding. 3 out of 3 for the Dutchman after the disaster of last season. He's definitely making up for it this season ahead of his teammate Perez, who's had no answer to Verstappen this whole time. Leclerc maybe looking to move elsewhere. Ferrari don't butt their ideas up. The defending champion. And then Carlos Sainz, well, what can you say? He probably would have been up there, but Ferrari's strategy and that crash with Ricciardo didn't help his cause. Pierre Gasly, fantastic. His first podium of the season. His 3rd of his career, actually. And our first podium for Aston Martin as a team. In our career mode. Anyway, Bottas, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, finally getting some substantial points on the board for himself after only scoring 1 point in the first 2 races. That puts him on par with Alonso, rounding up the top 10. And as you can see, Sebastian finally getting on the scoreboard himself, tying with Guan Yu Zhou. So hopefully, if we can do a little bit more to the car when the testing period opens up again, we should hopefully get Vettel up there as well. But in the constructors, look at that. We are Red Bull still rolling the rules, obviously double the amount of points of Ferrari, and here we are. We've shot up from down in P7 up to P3 in the Constructors' Championship. That is a fantastic result. We couldn't have asked for a better weekend than this one after the disaster of Jeddah. So that is fantastic. McLaren, they've dropped. We basically swapped places with McLaren, essentially, because they had a disaster like what we had last race. So it's that's going to be the ebb and flow of this championship. Mercedes will establish their place as the 3rd best team on the grid again. I have no doubt of that. But ourselves, Alpine, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, AlphaTauri, we're all going to be swapping places left, right and centre this season. I can see it happening. And that's great. Fantastic weekend. Gasly gets another development point. We did have one for Vettel, but I forgot to sort that out at the start of this session. But this has been an absolutely amazing episode for us. As we go through into the hub, and there you can see it on the left-hand side. Wow. That is absolutely fantastic. We are ball confidence is back to medium. I would imagine it would be after scoring a podium, but this is just the sort of boost that we needed, especially after the last one. Gasly had his slip up last race, but he bounced immediately back, taking advantage of the strategy. he had great pace to do it, especially right at the end, where he had him on put him on the mediums for those last few laps was definitely the right call. He had the free rein to push the tyres as hard as he could, and that allowed him to keep pace with Hamilton. For definite. So the research, as you can see, we got the research period open and the results of the regulation votes. So we'll have to see how that goes. We're not going to get the aerodynamic testing period until after the San Marino. I'm not calling it the Emilia Romagna. That's too much of a mouthful. The San Marino. That's how I remember it. That's how old I am. After the San Marino Grand Prix, so we should be able to start developing the car a little bit more for the next few races. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I certainly did. If you did enjoy it, do feel free to leave a like and a comment. It really helps with the whole algorithm thing. And also, those of you who do comment, your feedback is very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and we'll see you next time for round number 4 of Season 2 for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Goodbye.